Welcome to a new video where I am just going to blurt out random thoughts about the state of gaming today. So I just had this random thought while I was playing Forza Horizon 4, which I got on a recent Steam sale. Now, before I get started in my ranting and rambling, I'd like to point out that firstly, it is a great game, the mechanics are very solid, car upgrading could be a bit better, but whatever. And I absolutely adore that it scraped my Microsoft account and used my real name with in-game voice. That's amazing, and I've always wanted a game to do that. But I had this thought. It really feels like Forza Horizon is everything that is wrong with the gaming industry, or at least the state of games themselves, in one game, but at like a microdose. It's strange. So there's things like it advertises its own DLC, which infuriates me. I remember Ubisoft did that with one particular game. I think it was Steep, and that annoyed me to no end. But that game had at least been free just prior, so obviously they're like, hey, how about you give us some money? And so I hate when games do that, but Forza Horizon's done that. However, it only does it at the change of seasons, which is a reasonable amount of time between advertisements, so it's not so bad. Then there's weird stuff like the broken progression system. Like, you can have an absolutely maxed out beast of a car like an hour into the game, which seems really counterintuitive, but then if you want cosmetics to make your guy not look like some chud weasel, you've got to spend forever spinning the Wheel of Fortune thingos to hopefully get some decent cosmetics, which seems really counterintuitive, but I feel like that's it designed to keep people engaged in the game. Which kind of takes me to the next thing. There's timed exclusive missions, much like live service games like Destiny and stuff do. And they keep that there to keep people playing. But it really muddies up your map while you're looking at stuff like that. And then there's billions of collectibles. It feels almost like you're playing an early Assassin's Creed where you've got to collect every fibre off Steve's shirt. But yeah, there's just hundreds of things to constantly be looking out for and trying to get a hold of. And again, it seems like it's very much to keep people playing the game. And then there's stuff like you have to pay nearly more to fast travel than to put a V8 in your Peugeot. I think it's $9,500 or $10,000 at the start of the game if you haven't got any of the collectibles to get rid of that. And that very much seems like they're like, well, that's very expensive. Maybe you should just drive, so you're playing the game for longer. You'll really like it if you play the game for long. And I really don't like when they've clearly given you that option and then they're like, no, we're going to put this wall up here. So that tends to get a bit iffy, and it's very clearly designed to keep people engaged in the game artificially. And then there's stuff like tons of microtransactions. Like, if you look at the amount of DLC, so I just randomly went onto Steam for Forza Horizon 4, added the game to my cart, and then every bit of DLC. And at the moment, Forza is 50% off. And with all of that, it's still 239 Australian dollars to get it all for a standard game. That seems insane, given all you're doing is getting a fair few extra cars and then boosting the money that you have in game and stuff like that. Seems really strange. And then there's also online only. Well, I think theoretically you could play it offline, but I can't find any way to actually play the game offline. Everything just sort of... It's like, no, you'll just play online by yourself. And everywhere you go, every time you jump into a race, do you want to play it co-op? how about you play it online? Do you want rivals? And it's just, yeah, constantly trying to force artificial engagement, which is so much of everything that's wrong, but because it's wrapped in a decent game and it's also not so in your face, it's very much ignorable. It doesn't feel too bad. But it is definitely a game that's just trying to tally up as many terrible game industry standards as it possibly can. And that kind of sucks, because Forza Horizon's actually a lot of fun. But that's just my ramblings. If you disagree, feel free to comment below. If you agree with me, then also comment below and tell me how great I am. And if I missed anything, please let me know. Peace.